There's nothing we can do with the weather in other states.
COVID vaccine shipments being delayed here in Florida because of these rough winter conditions so much of the country is experiencing. We'll update the timeline when the doses could finally arrive.
And the boys of summer are here. Spring training now underway. We'll tell you what you need to know if you want to go see some baseball this spring.
And some of my teachers are high risk or in the age category where they can be vulnerable to the virus.
Uncertainty is growing over the future of spring standardized testing, what one senior is doing in hopes of the district making what she considers the right decision.
It's a new day. This is CBS 12 News This Morning.
6 a.m. on your Thursday, everyone. What you're looking at here, ice and snow moving across the Northeast as we speak. Matt, Chris, this is part of the same system that's going to bring a front to our area tomorrow.
And it's going to cool down a little bit, but we're not seeing anything like
nothing like what we've seen. And hopefully, in a couple of minutes here, we're going to see that video out of Texas where they have
icicles on the fans in the house.
Icicles from a fan in a house. I mean, you have to see this coming up. Well, you have to see this, too. It's our next weather maker on the way. It's a cold front way up here in northwest Florida. This will be down here late tomorrow afternoon, so we have 2 more warm days today and tomorrow, and going to be a little windy and warm, and then the big chill coming for our weekend. Well, what we would call the big chill. All right, warm and windy for us on this Thursday morning, above normal highs and lows. Now, there are a couple of tiny showers offshore, but they're well offshore. Right here, they're about 40 miles offshore, and they're moving northwest. They're staying well enough, far enough offshore. I don't think there'll be a problem, but they're 40 miles offshore and kind of moving this way. It's doubtful they would reach us anytime, if at all. All right, it's warm out with that wind blowing in off the warm water. 76 in West Palm, and our normal high is 77. Boy, it's way warmer than normal right now. It's easy to get to 80 when you start at 70, like it is in Fort Pierce right now, and 67 in Port St. Lucie. So it's a nice day ahead. We're going to be warm and breezy. At midday, look at these temperatures near 85 in Wellington, 83 along the coast. It's a great looking Thursday. Now we're tracking that weather maker, the cold front coming for the weekend. That's ahead in a minute. All right, time for traffic. Here's Sam.
Thanks, Chris. We do have one minor hiccup near the Hope Sound area right now. FHP is reporting we've got a broken down vehicle on I-95 northbound here near the Bridge Road exit. Doesn't look like any lanes are blocked, and it's not causing any delays through the area. You can see that there with our speeds running at 70 miles an hour, but you will just want to use a little extra caution if you are heading north there on I-95. Palm Beach County, we're off to a great start this morning as you make your way through Delray and Boca Raton. We're not tracking any crashes or delays for your drive, and we will track your drive times coming up in just a few minutes. Matt and Ashley.
Sam, we'll check back with you right now. Winter storms delaying COVID vaccine shipments across the country, including here in Florida.
That's right. The winter storm is moving into the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast right now.
CBS 12 News reporter Madeline Montgomery live from North Palm Beach with more on these delays and when we could see the shipments arrive here. Maddie?
Obviously not expecting snow anywhere here in South Florida, but we are expecting to feel that weather in a different way, and that's by way of receiving our coronavirus vaccines. The winter storm across the country has backed up all of the shipments of the coronavirus vaccine. Shipment by plane or 18-wheeler is nearly impossible in parts of the country because of this winter weather.
If you have an appointment like at a Publix for Thursday and they have to delay you, that's almost assuredly why. So just have patience on it. There's nothing we can do with the weather in other states. We are going to get the Moderna, but it is not here when it normally would be here.
Delayed vaccines should get here by the end of the week. Vaccination sites like the fairgrounds and Publix are still open today, and you should be notified if your appointment does end up getting delayed. Coming up, I'll tell you how the county is trying to make up for lost time because of all these slowdowns. For now, live in North Palm Beach, Madeline Montgomery, CBS 12 News.
All right, Maddie, thank you.
And another vaccination site will open up soon in Palm Beach County. Burns Road Community Center in Palm Beach Gardens is expected to open next Wednesday, depending on vaccine supply. The site will be by appointment only.
And law enforcement here in Florida, the officers are not approved to get the vaccine.
See, under the current guidance, police are not considered first responders, so they're not priority. Right now, let's bring in Terry now with what the officers have to say about it.
Good morning, Matt and Ashley. Some departments are now lobbying the governor, asking for their officers to be vaccinated as soon as possible. The argument here, well, they're on the front lines and deal with people with COVID-19 every single day. Now, under the guidelines, only people who are 65 and older and frontline healthcare workers can get the shot at this time. Firefighters in Florida are getting the vaccine, and that's because they are paramedics and transport COVID patients, so they are considered healthcare workers. But of course, police police are not. Last month, we spoke to the head of the Florida Police Benevolent Association, who says officers are just as susceptible.
We don't stop going to these domestics. We don't stop going to these large parties. We don't stop going to these car crashes. We're there. We're hands-on.
Officers who meet the age requirement of 65, they are eligible to get the vaccine at this time. But for many who come into contact with COVID patients, they say that's just not good enough. The governor has not changed his mind at this point, but he did tell the PBA law enforcement should get access to the vaccine around the end of this month or the beginning of next. Matt?
All right, Terry, thank you. The start of the Major League Baseball spring training is here this week. Catchers and pitchers from several teams made their way to South Florida, and workouts are kicking off today. But the pandemic is changing the whole experience for both players and fans. Let's go right over to CBS 12's Kara Duffy. She's live at the ballpark in Palm Beaches. Kara, this is going to be a different spring than we're used to.
That's right, Matt. And in just a few hours, we will get a first glimpse of just how different this spring training will be, with pitchers and catchers reporting for their first day of practice for the Nationals and Astros here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Typically, as you know, we would see a lot of fans out here hanging around, hoping to snag an autograph or get a photo of their favorite player. That won't be the case today. That's not going to happen this time around. Many changes now in place due to new COVID restrictions.
At the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, preparations are well underway for the return of Major League Baseball spring training.
It's exciting. It really is, hopefully, the beginning of a return to normalcy.
Because of the pandemic, fans won't be allowed inside the facilities to watch the practices before the games start. A limited amount of tickets will also be sold for games in groups of 2, 4, and 6, with seating pods scattered throughout the stadium to maintain social distancing.
By all means, it's going to be something that's not usual for us, and we're hopeful that we'll get out of this and the future years are going to be stronger.
Couple other changes you can expect to see if you do come out and catch a game. Masks will be required. As far as buying that hot dog or drink inside, bring your credit or debit card. Cash will not be accepted here. It is all cash, touchless payments rather, moving forward. And of course, the first 2 rows behind the dugout at all the stadiums in our local area, they will be left empty to minimize the distance between players and fans. Certainly a lot of thought went into this, a lot of changes in place, hoping for a healthy spring training here in South Florida. Matt, Ashley, back to you.
All right, Kara, thank you. Governor Ron DeSantis will hold a news conference at 9 this morning in the St. Pete area. CBS 12 News will bring it to you live during our 9 o'clock newscast. If you're not near a TV, don't worry. You can watch it through CBS12.com or on our free news app.
Well, in your Eye on Education, students are required to take the Florida Standard Assessments, or FSAs, in person. But questions remain on whether Palm Beach County schools will require students to be in the classroom for the standardized testing in May. That's why one Atlanta Community High School senior started a petition calling on the district to reconsider. Alexa King suffers from asthma and worries returning to a classroom with more than 100 students for a lengthy test could put everyone, including teachers, at risk.
We have to have IB teachers proctor the exams, and some of my teachers are high risk or in the age category where they can be vulnerable to the virus.
Some of these standardized tests are required to graduate or move on to the next grade or even earn college credit. As we told you in a special report Monday morning, it is a lot easier to cheat in remote learning. A decision from the district is expected in the next few days.
6:08 right now. City and town elections less than 3 weeks away. Everybody has 9 days left to request a vote by mail-in ballot. Here's how you can do that. Go in person. One of the 4 elections offices in West Palm Beach, Delray Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, or Belglade, or go on the Supervisor of Elections website at pbcelections.org. You'll find a phone number, fax number, and an email to request a ballot.
And mail-in ballots must be received by 7 p.m. on March 9th at the West Palm Beach Supervisor of Elections office or by 5 p.m. at any of the other offices. If you send it back by mail, it could take at least a week to arrive. Make sure your vote counts. Don't forget to sign the envelope. But of course, you can always vote in person that day at your local polling place.
After a quick break, 3 Martin County deputies are recovering this morning after getting sick on the job. We have an update on their condition.
That is a wild story, too. You want to stick around for that. And Palm Beach resident conservative talk radio titan Rush Limbaugh lost his battle with lung cancer yesterday. Take a look back at his legacy next.